So I want to go on to our first song discussion of the day, and it's your song, Jake Scott's "Good
Come on.
Day."
Yes.
Dude, such a fun record. I feel like I remember when you dropped it, I was like, this is so different for Jake, but
Yeah.
it doesn't feel out of bounds. It felt like it made so much sense to you. And I know you worked with Noah on the production on it, and
Dude.
I'm forgetting who else I saw in the credits. It was like you, Danny Silverstein.
Yeah, Danny Silverstein and Josh Kerr. The four of us wrote it, and Noah and I produced it together. And we had shout out Noah Conrad. He's an absolute
He's
animal.
so good. Such a fan of his work.
And same with Danny and Josh. All
Dude,
four of us.
Danny's
were
artist
producers.
project.
Crazy.
It's so good.
Crazy. It's so good. And Josh's artist project
it's called
too.
Slim Dan, right? Is that what it?
Yeah,
people should check that out.
project.
It's such a good project.
Check that out. Check out Josh Kerr. He's a country artist and country writer, producer, absolute wizard. You should have him on here. He's so good.
I'll hit him up.
And then Noah, I mean, I'm sure everyone's heard Noah's work because he's all.
I mean, Noah's done some Chapel stuff, done some stuff for Ash, like among many other artists. I could keep going, but
he's an absolute animal. And so, like, we were doing a writing camp for my record, and it was day 2, and we were throwing out a bunch of different ideas, and like nothing was sticking. And then Noah and Noah is a filthy keys player. Yeah. For anybody who doesn't know that, so Noah just walks over to my Juno, my 106 that I've got right here. And he just starts playing the line that's in the whole song. It's like,
you know, it's so funny. That's literally my first question is like, what's that first sound? And
that 106 right there, mono. It was going because we were at a writing camp. We were just making, demos, and we're like, we'll redo it later.
Right.
It was going in mono, and he played it, and I was just like, me, Danny, and Josh just turned, and we were like, what was that?
Yeah.
And he was like, I don't know. And so I was sitting at the computer. I just like press record and play that again. As he played it once, and I just repeated it a ton. I just made a loop of it because I was like, we'll fill it out later. And then
I feel like you can't redo that. It has such pocket, and it's
such a pocket, and so it had such a vibe to it. And like I don't really know how to save my presets on this thing, and so like we could never re-pull that sound up again. No. It was just like you got to capture it in the moment. And then I put like, I think to make it stereo, I put like Valhalla Ubermod on it to give it like a little width, and that was it. And that is like the backbone of the whole song. Is that line. And then we started writing it. Noah sat down and threw like one kick, one tiny clap snare. That was it, and that was all the drums on the whole thing. And then we started like sort of fleshing it out. And by the time the song was written, which was within a couple hours, like it came together super fast. And Noah was like, I've got this electric guitar lead line thing I think would be cool. And it was like dry as a bone, nothing on it. I don't even think we put on like a amp simulator. It's just like these tiny little guitar parts. And they just sounded so cool. And they were doing these things with the stereo image that I thought were so cool. And then we did all these gang vocals, and they're hilarious because like if you solo the gang vocals, like we messed up the lyrics several times.
But I think you need some of that in that.
Yeah, but it stayed in the track, and we were just like, oh, whatever, who cares? It feels good.
It sounds like you guys are like at a house party. You know what I mean?
It literally was.
Yeah, right. And that's like, I think like sometimes people like try and make gang vocals like so perfect and like a choir, and it's like, no, that's not what a gang vocal is.
The better. The better.
It's like if you fuck up, like it's actually kind of endearing.
It's cool because otherwise you just do some stacks, you know?
Right.
So it's like, and so in the room we were singing in was like horrifically untreated. We were in the living room of this Airbnb, and I tried probably 4 different times to recut that vocal, and I just couldn't capture it again, the magic of it. And so if you solo that vocal, there is so much room and so much bleed from the head. It's like it's horribly recorded, but it just worked, and it was awesome. And then
again, I think, but that's the thing too, where it's like it wasn't intentional, right? But again, it feels like you're in a house party. It feels like you're in a house, and it makes perfect sense because you were in a house. It just works. Yeah,
and it was so funny because also on that we didn't have a bass with us, but we were all like, oh, it needs to feel like an actual like it doesn't need to be like a synth bass. It needs to be like an actual bass. And so Noah picked up my electric guitar that we had brought, and he started playing the bass line just on the low string, and then we put sound shifter on it and pitched it down. And it made it on the final.
I've gotten some of my favorite bass tones doing that. Like same thing where it's like, oh, I just don't have the bass on me right now, so I'm just gonna play it on guitar. And it's just like
so funny.
Yeah,
it was definitely a song. It was a song that was really surprising to me. Of like it broke all of the what you should do,
Right.
and we were just like, it works. Like let's just roll with it. And then we were sitting around and we were all like, man, this would sound really great with some trumpets on it. And Noah is like a phenomenal trumpet.
He's very, very good. Yes.
That's like he's a jazz trumpet performance major from Berkeley. Like he's filthy trumpet player. And he was like, you know what? My buddy's at my house right now. I can see if he'd bring it to me. And so he brought him the trumpet, and then watching Noah Conrad record a trumpet is like a masterclass, because like in the way that somebody who like produces their own vocal and they can move just like crazy fast and they know exactly what they're doing, but they don't need to explain it to anybody. That's him with the trumpet. He was like, all right, hit it again, hit it again, hit it again, move that to the left, move it to the right, like hit it again, hit it again. And he, within 5 minutes, like this
part was there. Yeah.
It was. I was so blown away by how good it was.
Was that the same thing? Like it was recorded in that house with like the room picking
same thing. And we tried. We eventually had to change something. And he came over to my house, and the only way we could like even slightly reproduce that feeling was we had to go up in my living room, and like move the couch to the side so it had the same kind of like echo. And like we tried, and it actually ended up working. But it was just wild. Like so much of what the final record was just the demo, and then we got it within a few hours. And to be honest, like I don't even remember. I think at first it just felt like we were riding in Malibu. It was super sunny. It was like beautiful day in the summertime. And it was just like, man, this is a good day.
Yeah.
And like I threw out the melody, and I think Josh like heard me in my subconscious say like, gonna be a good day. And he was like, oh, it sounded like you said it's gonna be a good day. And I was like, yeah, it sounds kind of corny, but sure, let's go for it. And then the more we started writing, I was like, oh, this is sick. Like I love this. And it just, it's been such a good song.
I think too, like I love that you said like, oh, this sounds kind of corny. And it's like, I think that's like something that so many people are afraid of. And it's like, nah, you have to like lean into the corny, lean into the cringe. And like just write that song and you'll know if it's corny the next day. Because sometimes that line is so fucking paper thin.
Yes. It's so paper thin.
It's so paper thin.
I think you're right, man. I think like as a writer, I have really had to push myself recently into just write your instinct and don't judge it until it's done. And then if it's super corny, or if it's like, oh, that line's terrible, cool, rewrite it tomorrow. But like don't lose the song in the weeds of, oh man, I have to get this line perfect right now. Because you don't have to get it perfect right now. You have time, you can come back to it. And sometimes that what you think is terrible in the moment, like you listen back to it and you're like, oh no, that was actually bright. That was like a good day. Like those lyrics are not by any means reinventing the wheel.
No, they're not like changing anyone's life, but they're just like, they fit the vibe of the song perfectly.
Yeah, it's just a carefree song. As the lyrics feel carefree,
and that's
like a fun specificity.
You're allowed to write carefree, fun songs like that. I think people are just like afraid of that. And it's like, why? It's like because all your favorite artists have done
it. We're all so insecure, and we all want to impress each other, and we all want to be seen as like this tortured master artist, Bob Dylan guy. Which like, there's a time and a place for that. I love writing those kind of songs, like really digging into the poetry. But like, it's going to be a good day. We're going to order in Postmates and Mai Tais. Like that's not poetry. No. It is a way, I guess. But like certain songs serve their purpose, and like if this song is just to help people feel happy when they're getting ready for their day, I love being a part of that. Or if they want a song that's like super emo and gonna help them through a heartbreak, like I've got that too.
Yeah.
But I think for me, like I totally fall into that camp of like being afraid of like, oh, what are people gonna think if this isn't like so artistic? And sometimes it's just okay.
No, it's okay. And it's like I just like look back at like, my favorite artist of all time, the Beatles. They had like so many dumb songs.
So many dumb songs.
But they're like so many
good. Unbelievable songs.
Right. And it's like you can balance it out. I just, it's a thing. I saw a video the other day, just like flipping through Instagram, and it was I forget who it was, so forgive me, and I'm gonna mess it up. But it was this guy talking about